A YouTuber named JPays57 catches a 1.5-minute long slew of paranormal activity in a solid white room that's mostly bare. First a paper flies up, and then, with no one in the room mind you, a woman's voice says a single word I wanted you to interpret. As for the piece of paper moving, I don't hear the wind, and besides that, the paper actually blows towards the window, so that explanation wouldn't really make sense. A toolbox and a closet open at once, which could be coordinated between two people, but there's nobody in the room to pick up the camera and see who's in there. I hear a strange, otherworldly sigh. Do you? It sounds upset, and nothing like the woman's voice before. The closet door closes, and then the door closes shortly after. Somebody could be on the other side of the closet, but nobody is on either side of the door. I don't see any fishing wire tied around the knob, but I admit it's kind of too far away to tell, so tell me if you're convinced. Here's another video of a different warehouse that's possibly haunted. Take a look at what one of the security cameras picks up. Slinking around their screen, presumably late at night, after everyone has gone home. The footage looks really grainy, which ordinarily would be a sign of editing, but then again, this is also exactly how most low-budget security cameras look. Maybe it was a bug walking across the lens, maybe it was edited, or maybe it really was a shadow person silently floating across a work site. We'll never know for certain. If you encounter a child spirit, be wary. Posted to Facebook by the most haunted places in Pakistan in August of 2019. This video is actually based in Thailand and surrounds the mythological spirit of Gongoi. The dark-haired sprite is said to be humanoid and child-sized. She hops around on one leg and screams out Gongoi, which is the source of her name. This video purportedly shows that creature at the edge of a Thai field in the darkness of night. You at first see the figure's dark hair as it's still and hunched over near the grass, but then it appears to become alert to the presence of others nearby as it stands up and starts hopping away on its single leg. If you're watching this video after 10 p.m., your nightmares will probably be populated by strange Dali-esque creatures like these. Hopefully they're not running towards you. One day, a man pulls up to a woman walking alongside her bicycle and asks if she needs help. She says no and indicates that she is living in the house nearby. Things have been strange ever since. The next day, the same man pulls all the way up her driveway and parks facing her house for a long time. He eventually backs away and drives off. The weird pattern of behavior continues for quite some time. Sometimes he would even drive by multiple times a day. Each incident was recorded by the home's CCTV system. Eventually, the man encounters her again and is told that she has a husband, but he does not give up. Now a different car shows up. Someone gets out and leaves a note asking if she would like to work for him, whatever that means. Instead of putting the note inside of the mailbox like a normal person, he spends a long time carefully hanging it from a nylon bag and stands around for almost 10 minutes before leaving. The first encounter happened in January, and the tapes stretch on well into the summer months. This man could have very well been obsessing about a woman who he had only met once or twice before. There's been no resolution as far as I know, and I'm not sure if the alleged stalking has ceased. December 12, 2020, Lisa feels somebody walk past in her kitchen. She absent-mindedly smooths over her hair and doesn't think about how weird it was until later. The security camera shows a long strand of her hair move by itself and some lights fly overhead. The ceiling fan was not on and doesn't look like a fan anyway. It looks like someone grabs it and lets go. She says and thinks it was a ghost because it felt like a person was right there. Lisa knows who it must be, the shadow person she caught on camera 2 weeks prior. November 29th, she kept getting motion detection warnings on her phone. The video looks like a person outside of her house, except she says nobody was caught on outside cameras. Normally I would say, yeah, right at this story, except look how the shadow exits. It just up and floats away. That's not normal to them or me. January 8th, 2021, the shadow figure moves into the garage. It's not somebody's shadow from outside. 4 seconds is when you can see this shadow figure has 2 eyes. I'll circle them. What do you think? All I know is that's not what I'd want to see on my phone after a motion alert. By January 17th of the following year, the shadow person had progressed to haunting objects. Maybe that was gravity, but they think it looks more like a ghost moved it. Anyway, those are some of the scarier videos on their channel to date. Something tells me more weird things will happen as the paranormal activity continues to manifest itself deeper inside the home, which I think is clearly haunted. A paranormal investigator named Exist wants to see if ghosts exist in an abandoned funeral parlor in South Korea. In this stairwell is where they record the strongest evidence of paranormal activity.
에이컨?
Something is at the bottom of these steps, according to their readouts. Snapchat finds activity in the corner. It looks like a ghost in a white dress with her back turned, long black hair. They don't dare go down there and confront her. Instead, they sum up a music box that is hand cranked at the top of the steps and see if she will come to them.
반응! EMF 보세요.
I'm not sure if a ghost is really doing this or if they were in control. If someone has more information about the paranormal equipment they're using here, then let me know if this part is real or if they have a secret way to control it. So much energy surrounds them that the music box never stops playing. They have to manually turn it off, satisfied that this experiment was a success. Next, he records his Snapchat filter to see if any faces are caught coming up the stairs. Instead, he gets something even scarier. Something walks right by them, opens the door, and holds it open for them. They respect the spirit's wishes and politely leave. A YouTuber named Izzy-centric is testing out his ghost hunting equipment on a creepy doll that's been possessed by a ghost for over 20 years. He sets the cursed object up in its miniature school desk, hoping to catch the doll moving on camera if possible. And he passes a ghost meter over it that is designed to catch the energy levels of any paranormal entities within. Sure enough, his paranormal equipment detects the presence of some creepy stuff lurking within the doll's demonic plastic shell.
Is this you here? What the? Are you kidding me?
Not only does the ghost meter register a positive response, it detects so much paranormal energy in the air that it crackles with an abundance of electricity. His wife joins him in the investigation and she's not surprised by the results. It was her doll as a child and it always did creep her out. Now it's her turn to ask questions.
Are you still here? It's not doing it anymore.
She gets no response from the nightmarish doll, at least not until she takes it upon herself to give it an insult.
Little wuss.
Say what?
Said little wuss. Ooh, didn't like that, did you?
The ghost meter lights up angrily at this provocation, which signals to me that this is more than just a coincidence, and almost undoubtedly a doll possessed by scary things you wouldn't want in your home. If this video is paranormal, then hopefully it stays bound to this object and finds no way to get loose. When ghost hunters are distracted by EVPs, they might be missing the obvious right over their shoulder. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Alex Paranormal TV explains that when this occurred, they were receiving activity in that area via a K2 meter and spirit. He writes, "Keep in mind we check around to make sure the location is empty before investigation, and this place is in the middle of nowhere." The footage shows one of the investigators trying to communicate with the afterlife through the spirit box. As he asks the spirit and implores him to communicate, the man filming hears a bang. The other ghost hunter turns around to look over his shoulder, completely missing a full-figured shadow that crosses in the room beyond, over his other shoulder. Is this the spirit these investigators are communicating with? If so, he's doing more than speaking. He's come for a visit. It's Halloween night, and the creator of a YouTube channel called Infinite Lists is at home. He looks out his window and is horrified to see an unwelcomed guest peering back at him.
Guys, I just grabbed my camera. Oh my god. Yo. That is the creepiest thing ever. Oh my god.
The mysterious person curiously cocks its head at the sight of someone inside, so Infinite List rushes to the front door and locks it before anyone can get in. As it turns out, he was just in time.
Oh, yo, no.
Staring at him through the peephole is the very same clown that was in his yard moments earlier. He ends the video and goes to call the police. This video was taken on Halloween, but I doubt this is a trick-or-treater because they don't have a bag for candy. It could be a fan of his channel, or it could simply be staged. However, one thing makes me think it could be something else entirely. At one point in the video, as Infinite List crosses the hall, you can see a single red balloon has somehow floated its way into his home. There's a specific fear towards someone trying to break and enter your home. The intrusion makes you feel incredibly vulnerable and violated. YouTuber What Up Chris knows what it feels like. He published this footage to YouTube in April of 2016 writing, "This man was seen trespassing and trying to enter my home." The security footage shows a white truck pass by the house in question. Presumably, the truck pulls up down the street to park, while its owner gets out and saunters down the street adjacent to the home. He is seen in the video walking casually, appearing as though he might pass by the house, before he takes a sharp left and walks brazenly up to the drive towards it instead. Another camera angle catches him walking up the front steps, before turning right around again without knocking. He takes a right to walk around the house in order to find a different access of entry. Another camera captures the intruder walking around the side of the house, towards the backyard. The man disappears off camera for a moment, before returning and trying to knob off one of the side entry doors. As they are all locked, he gives up and leaves. His white truck is seen a moment later, driving the opposite direction, down the road from whence he came. The homeowner has since come out of the house in his wheelchair and can be seen taking a picture of the truck with his phone, likely in order to capture the license plate number. Smart move on the homeowner's part, although it's unclear if the attempted intruder was ever caught. We can only hope this man captured enough video evidence to put him behind bars. A YouTuber named Bay State Hockey watches nervously as a tornado takes shape one field over.
Crap, it's right there. It's right there.
There it is. Oh my dad. That's
only a couple hundred feet away, Dad. For it.
Just when it looks like they've outrun the first tornado, they see more problems ahead.
There's two.
There's like three.
There's three of them.
The only thing that saves them is the fact that the road just so happens to turn in the exact opposite direction as the tornadoes are forming. The YouTuber escapes alive, but I doubt this Florida family will ever forget the time they were wedged between three twisters and almost didn't make it. It's every urban explorer's worst nightmare. YouTuber Exploring with Danny apparently uncovered 4 bodies while exploring this abandoned place. His dog came across them first.
Diesel! Diesel, what are you doing, boy?
After entering, Danny realizes he's happened upon a grim scene.
Oh my. Hello?
I want to think it's fake, but Danny's reaction seems all too real.
Diesel, call Diesel, call my. We need to the police, Diesel.
This footage comes from the Lincoln County Courthouse in Charlotte, North Carolina. Deputies are watching the security monitors after hours when they spot a woman standing alone in an empty room. They rush into the nearby location to see what she is up to and if she needs help. Not only is the woman still there, but she is totally transparent and they are able to walk straight through her. When the local news channel comes to investigate, they see the same ghost again, this time in the cashier's office.
While shooting today, we saw it again in color in the middle of the screen, just over Barbara Jones' shoulder.
Both times, the ghostly woman appears to be jotting something down in a notepad. Some people are suggesting that she could just be a reflection, but the news team could find nothing capable of replicating the highly detailed shape of a woman. If this really is a spirit, then who knows why she is here, or what supernatural secrets her notepad holds. Blurry Faces is a YouTuber exploring two mysterious schools standing next to each other. They were both built around World War II and have been abandoned for a long time. Everything starts out normal until Blurry Faces is exploring an upstairs room full of classroom furniture. After that, something seems to be stalking them at every turn. The strange banging noises only grow louder and more persistent as time wears on. I will give them credit for being courageous and sticking around for so long. This is the event that finally makes them lose their composure and scramble. This time, Blurry Faces bravely tests the weight of the door himself and finds that it's way too heavy to swing open with such ease. You can tell he is putting a lot more effort into opening and closing the door than whatever just opened it moments earlier. Tell me what's written in Spanish across the door and if it has any significance to what could be possibly lurking inside. A YouTuber named Bay Rosali records his science teacher conducting a dangerous classroom experiment. He orders everyone to the back of the class and for good reason.
Good job.
Somehow a huge plastic jug combusts into a giant fireball that knocks the teacher backwards. If he hadn't made everyone go to the back of the room, they could have easily gotten caught in the blast too. I'm not sure what the point of this experiment was, or exactly what was inside of the jug, but if you have done this before at your school, then tell me what is going on here, and more importantly, what was supposed to have happened. There's a face in the wall. Can you see it?
A face, you can see a face.
That's that.
The eyes are wide and black, and the face is a little more than a tiny frown. Then, after 1 minute and 5 seconds, I think I see a hand appear. They say it looks like the face of a girl, but the youngest daughter swears up and down that she had nothing to do with it.
She wasn't there last time. She never went. She never went, no.
And when, just for fun, they ask the face on the wall if it is the spirit of someone young or old, they get a weird response.
Put a light if you're a young girl.
So is this really a spirit, or just an imprint left behind of a child who stuck their face against a dirty wall? Muna Bruzan bought this strange and creepy doll at an antique sale after she felt its eyes watching her. Now the doll apparently continues to do so as their connection grows stronger over time. Here you can see her pick up the doll to admire her. When the doll apparently comes to life, you can hear Muna cry out in surprise as the doll turns towards her and flutters its eyes. I have no idea how this could have happened, since both of her hands are nowhere near the doll's head when it turns to face her. When she puts the doll back down, it seems to understand that she is done playing and thoughtfully turns its gaze outside the window. A YouTuber named A. Marie says that she encountered a little ghost girl in the hallway of this haunted hotel in Oregon, and this eerie video taken late at night is her paranormal evidence. She's exploring the haunted hotel when she captures strange shadow movements on camera. I thought it was probably her own reflection in the window, but some people are saying that the angles don't match up and that this shadow has a different source, so maybe they're right.
Is there anybody with me? Is there any spirits with me?
Marie turns around only to capture a mysterious white light floating across the hallway. A little ghost girl wearing a dress according to some, but most likely a lens flare from the bright lights overhead. But here's the really creepy part. When she turns down the hall where the ghost last went, something scary is waiting for her. The creepy EVP sounds like a disembodied voice saying the word go, as in get out of this hall. I can only imagine that the legendary little ghost girl is turning around and saying this because she doesn't like to be followed by ghost hunters, and it might be best to heed her haunting words. A Canadian YouTube channel called The Soul Catcher suspects that this clown doll from Ontario feeds off the energy of the living, so they perform this experiment to see what paranormal activity they can catch on camera. Watch this and tell me if you think it's real or fake. The clown's arm moves by itself as soon as the clock strikes 3 a.m. I suppose it wouldn't be too hard to set a clock to 2:59. Wait a minute, and then move the clown's arm with some fishing wire. So while this doesn't completely prove the doll is possessed, it's definitely strange. In this second experiment, the YouTuber removes the haunted clown doll's hat and places it on his knee. After 20 minutes, this happens. It looks like the clown is reaching for his hat, however his arms sound heavy enough that it could have been positioned in such a way to fall over time. The YouTuber wants to know why the other arm didn't fall, and to answer his question, I think it's been positioned so that the hand is more in the middle. So while these two experiments are not conclusive, that he may have had a haunted doll on his hands, and I encourage you to check out the rest of his experiments on his channel. A YouTuber named Blamzuka is nervously waiting for an intense water park ride to begin. He knows something is wrong as soon as his friend deploys and he is still stuck in the tube. Soon it becomes apparent that getting out is not going to be easy, especially considering the door is sealed shut by a control panel that seems not to be working properly.
You okay in there?
If the ride starts with Blamzuka in this position, he could easily land wrong and cause some damage. He is forced to remain in the tube with his hands over his shoulders, almost like a casket, with cold water running down his back the whole time.
Keep your head back.
They eventually open the door and get him into the second tube. When this tube fails in the exact same way, they finally send him down the ride on a third tube. Judging from his scared reaction, I'm surprised he did not quit when the same thing happened a second time. A married couple stationed at Fort Irwin in California are relaxing at home when suddenly their motion-activated baby monitor turns on to reveal some scary stuff caught on camera.
That's a little weird. I don't know what it is.
What they suspect is a small ghost hand waves at them excitedly. When they move the camera a few degrees over, it's mysteriously gone. It isn't long before the ghost hand reappears to wave at them some more. The backstory on this one is sparse. They say their house is haunted but don't go into more detail. They also say the hand moves way too fast to be a human, and I agree that's true, but only because this is probably a piece of dust on something up close. Don't Look Out the Window, published in November of 2011 by Mr. Jocko van Heerden. A group of friends just hanging out has one more hanger-on than expected in this scary video, filmed in Johannesburg, South Africa. The young people are just chilling in a bedroom when something catches their eye. Turning toward the sliding glass door, an enormous pale creature is standing outside their window watching.
Don't be so biased.
The creepy creature's features are vague, and at first it's not hard to tell if what's there is actually a living figure or not, but then it very clearly moves. Someone in the room gasps as the enormous figure lurks out of sight. What is this thing? Is it supernatural or extraterrestrial? And why is it watching them? I don't think I'd feel safe in that house ever again after this. Cassie is with Danny Dorito and Ali H to find evidence of a spirit that they think is haunting not just this house, but most of the surrounding forest as well. They come across a ritual that someone left behind for some reason, possibly in a hurry. They figure out how to complete it and hear a noise shortly after reciting these ancient words, which I'm hoping someone who happens to practice magic might be able to recognize and tell us more.
Rolf, Niap, Ro.
They decide to leave everything behind and are well on their way back home when something ahead interrupts their hike.
Hello? Holy, you saw that, right? You saw.
At 4 minutes, I can see what appears to be a normal pair of white tennis shoes that kind of looks out of place, so I'm not exactly convinced that this is real. The power goes out and a man must go into the basement to find the circuit breaker. There's only one problem.
This is where I heard the booming at night.
Once he gets downstairs, his beam is swallowed in the darkness, and while fumbling around, he barely catches a glimpse of a pale face down there with him. And by the time he gets the flashlight to work again, it's already too late. Whatever this is a face of, ghost or otherwise, I doubt it's a mask because at 50 seconds you can see its mouth open and its smile fade away as it lunges forward. It doesn't grab him and he is able to get away, so if this is real, then it could be one of the highest resolution ghost sightings ever caught on camera to date. A YouTuber named Combo Hugs notices a burly man acting very out of place in his apartment complex. For starters, he is peeking from around a corner and behind a bush with his phone.
Look at him. He's been sitting there taking pictures with his phone and watching people at the pool since like 10 minutes ago when I was walking my dog.
According to Combo Hugs, the man would act like he was busy on his phone whenever someone walked by, only to resume his photographic activities once they'd passed a safe distance. I will say that I did notice some small children in this video, which is why I'm glad Combo Hugs called the police and alerted the apartment manager shortly after recording this as evidence. German ghost hunter Cubanito goes exploring an abandoned haunted house for one of the scariest 3 a.m. videos I've analyzed in quite some time. The haunted house has long been abandoned in the woods. Getting inside is quite a chore because an unsafe wooden ladder is missing many steps. Inside is a dark and heavy feeling that makes them whisper nervously. A missing section of wall shows a hidden room under the steps.
Fernsehen und so. Hey, warte, guck mal. Hau da, da jetzt Verlängerungskabel. Da jetzt Verlängerungskabel. Komm.
They hear a loud noise and run outside, but they didn't come here to get scared off in the first few minutes, so they continue the 3 a.m. paranormal investigation and go in. This time they manage to get upstairs and come to a door painted solid black at the end of a long dark hall. They are beyond freaked out, but nobody wants to quit, so against their better judgment they open the door. In this decrepit little bedroom they find a warning written on the dresser. I feel like it's a warning about a ghost, but the Google translation is so off that I won't even bother telling you what it says. If any of my German subscribers could tell me what this means, I would really appreciate it. The second word definitely looks like stop. They start to prod the door open but cannot bring themselves to. It's probably for the best. Who knows what was in there? Probably nothing good. There's one room left to check out on the top floor. This room looks like it's seen a lot of party action and might even still be inhabited by some. They start to worry about the floor breaking, and that's when it might actually start to.
Was kann ich alle auf einem Flex, weil es einbricht?
A snapping noise sends them all running out of the house before their 3 a.m. challenge becomes a 3 a.m. rescue. Lispy Jimmy is a popular YouTuber and streamer with a loyal audience, but when somebody drops by his house uninvited at 3 a.m., he feels alarmed instead of flattered.
What to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is a fan or not, but...
Now, Lispy Jimmy finds himself in a scary predicament. He definitely does not want to go outside and risk getting attacked, but at the same time, he wants to catch this person on camera for future evidence. He decides to open the door and cautiously scans the yard. He doesn't see anything at first, but then there is some movement across the street. A tall man looks to be in distress as he paces in circles for no apparent reason at all. It's creepy enough to make Lispy Jimmy retreat into the house and check all the locks. He and his girlfriend spend the rest of the video wondering if someone else is there with them and jumping at every sound they hear. But they make it through the rest of the night without incident. I guess they could have staged this video with the help of a friend, but there's also a good chance that it could be a random fan or even an absolute stranger. There just isn't enough evidence for me to tell for sure, but I would like to get your impressions. A couple of friends are driving around late at night, probably just to unwind for the day and have a good time with one another. During the drive, one of the guys in the car says that he thinks he saw some sort of animal, like a buck wandering around in the bushes right next to them. It almost seems like they are about to get out of the vehicle to take a closer look, but as you'll find out why in just a second, it's a good thing they didn't.
I thought I seen a big buck or something. Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's not a...
What the heck? Look how big its arm span is, like arm, upper torso, and then the middle part of its torso just looks so thin along with its legs. Like it's just so built on just like the upper part of its body here. It's just super bizarre. And its skin almost looked gray. One more time here.
You seen a big buck or something? Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that?
Buck,
dude, that's not a... Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's not a...
Besides the obvious creature jumping in the woods that oddly resembles the urban legend the rake, a lot of people in the comments are confused as to where the YouTube channel Paranormal News received this video, because the channel is Russian owned, but as you can tell, the men in the video are very much so American. Regardless of who it was filmed by though, this is one creature you would never want to see. Even if it is fake, it would startle you, especially this late at night. A YouTuber named Barbecue Thunder 7 watches in awe as huge chunks of hail fall from the sky, landing with the force of solid rock. When it finally starts to calm down, he summons his courage and steps outside for a closer look. Hail is still falling periodically at this point and could get him at any moment. Some of them landed with such impact that now they are buried deep into the ground, and if you have any doubt as to how much danger he was in, these are the holes in his roof from the bad weather. If it can do this to a roof, imagine what it could do to his head. Are you a social media influencer? The next time you're off in your own world, filming your next Twitter phenom, don't look over your shoulder. Posted to YouTube by BTS in May of 2019, this video will haunt you. The Twitter video begins like any other, with its star checking himself out in the camera before taking some film of the passing city scene outside his car window. Looks just like a normal everyday video to brighten everyone's Twitter feed, but as many YouTubers pointed out in the comments of this video, some random shadow appears behind the star's left shoulder. What is this creeping shadow lingering just behind him? Is it something paranormal or just a ghostly fan watching him? Judge for yourself. Either way, it's 100% frightening. Gorman Sujin is inspecting his new apartment with a camera to document any damages left from the tenants before him. He gets through all the rooms and the balcony without problem, but after reviewing the video later, he realizes that he is far from being home alone. A woman in white appears suspended in midair. I don't see a rope, but I will say she is next to the shower rod, and her feet are not touching the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if this is what became of the last person who lived here. It's hard to say if this video is really paranormal or simply due to a baby's loose grip. Keisha Vasquez is singing to her child when, in her eyes, a hairbrush is ripped from her daughter's hands. Watch the moment it happens and tell me if you think she dropped the brush or if it was taken by an unseen force.
Bebé, que linda, que bella.
At first, I was inclined to write this off as a fumble, but notice how at approximately 10 seconds, an orb crawls along the right side of the screen seconds before the hairbrush leaves her hands, followed by more orbs immediately afterwards. Since these orbs could be an indication of the supernatural, I think either explanation holds weight, and I look forward to getting your thoughts. DJ Ashba has a YouTube channel full of videos regarding his music career, but one in particular is way different. This CCTV video captures some unexplainable activity in his private backyard. It all starts when a small white blip appears out of nowhere and flashes all the way across the patio. I want to add that this camera does not skip frames, and that the light actually was moving this way in real time. Approximately 10 seconds later, the door opens completely by itself. The door was not slightly open before, and it looks like a calm day with no wind. Coincidentally, the door that opens is also the same door that the white light appeared in moments prior. DJ Ashba checked the security camera after coming home to see his door open, and this video leaves him with no easy answers. The best explanation I have after reviewing the evidence is that this was in fact paranormal, especially considering his other videos are not like this at all. What do you think? This creepy doll has been freaking out this dog for days on end, and since pets are sensitive to paranormal activity, it might be seeing something attached to the doll that's haunted. I mean, you would think that the dog would eventually figure out that the doll, although beyond creepy, is not a threat, but after hours of this behavior, you have to wonder if the doll is possessed by a ghost or something. Plus, just look at the thing. It looks like exactly the type of doll that gets caught moving at night. I can almost see the doll blink on camera, but I think it's just my imagination creeping me out. According to the uploader, they eventually all got creeped out by the doll, but instead of getting rid of it, which is what I would have done, they boxed it up and moved the doll into the basement, which is now no doubt haunted, but better than a haunted living room, I guess. In any event, hopefully the poor scared dog doesn't still sense its paranormal presence and can now get some rest. I never really thought about it before, but piranha tanks like this one at the London Zoo have to be kept clean, and the only way to get it done right is by hand. This diver carefully scrapes a cleaning tool across the glass with his back turned to a school of flesh-chomping fish, as if his life is not at risk. It's just another day on the clock for him, but an absolute nightmare for me and everyone else watching. And look at that, no gloves, no fear. So basically, I want to know why he isn't getting shredded right now. Some people in the comments are saying that piranhas won't chomp unless they smell red in the water, but I was under the impression that they tend to go after almost anything on sight. Maybe these ones are on a well-timed feeding schedule and are therefore simply not hungry. YouTuber This Is Dan Bell explored a creepy apocalyptic-looking hospital in May of 2016. The hospital in question must have been a Christian hospital, as there is a cross on the front of the building. From the outside looking in, the place does live up to its title. The windows are darkened, and it's clearly empty and in disrepair. Upon entering, Dan finds a storage room filled with broken chairs. The room alongside it is covered in garbage and remnants of the past. Closer inspection of the garbage that lines the floor shows that this place was a dumping ground for needles, or perhaps it is still used as one. Hypodermic needles completely cover one section of the floor, an enormous stockpile of them. As they explore the place further, they run into that singular image of a single wheelchair in a dark hallway that we've seen so much on this list, and in another hallway a single stretcher. This time though, neither moves. Perhaps this hospital isn't haunted like the others, which is strange because it looks like a ghost prime haunting grounds. The exploration does turn up other interesting things as well, but it's mainly a series of long, dark, scary hallways and rooms strewn with filth, much like what you'd expect an apocalyptic hospital to look like. Based out of the southern city of D'Armanville, Exploring Alabama is a YouTube channel that takes on the creepiest abandoned places in the entire state. One such video is an abandoned church that's in the early stages of decay. Inside is a mess but still structurally sound. Some rooms are too dark and creepy for him to willingly go into, so he mostly stays in the more well-lit areas and continues to explore until he gets his share of footage. As he's leaving, something compels him to take one last look in the main room, and that's when he records it. Some are calling this a mysterious creature, while others say this is only a stray cat and nothing more. It's too far away to tell for certain, but I think it's interesting and worth talking about. So what do you think? A boy records the scenic view outside of his window, as passengers often do. When he looks up to record an oncoming plane, he accidentally picks up a fast-moving disc-like object traveling in the opposite direction.
Whoa, did you?
Looking at it frame by frame, the small flat rectangle is abnormal and does not change shape or gain detail as it moves across the screen. It's definitely not wildlife, and it's too small to be a drone, not to mention up way too high. So what could it be, aside from the possible UFO? Others have pointed out that the trail left behind by the other plane looks odd as well. I think it looks like normal vapor trails created by engine exhaust, but I could be wrong. Does it look suspicious to you? And do you think these two events, the UFO and the other plane, could somehow be related? A YouTuber named Simo Vlogs explores an abandoned building, which he and his friends stumble across a room on the top tile floor with upside down humans. They are taped many times over, and there looks to be no breathing holes. This room looks like some kind of art storage room, so maybe these are just projects. I'm not sure why they would be wrapped and hanged up like this, so if you're an artist and know what's going on here, be sure to let me know. I'm pretty sure that this video isn't real, because this room would probably stink way too bad to go near, and plus the smile doesn't exactly look like the face of someone who just came across a psycho's secret stash, but that's just my opinion. If you plan to ghost hunt in a haunted forest, prepare to meet your doom. YouTuber Kelsey Davies and her crew encountered several paranormal events in their forest ghost hunt. First, she hears a woman's voice.
I just heard a woman humming.
That sounds more like a shout than a hum to me. Apparently Kelsey saw her too.
She was crouched down by the creek, humming, with no shoes on.
As they approach the creek in question, Susie feels like she was pushed.
You guys don't push me. I didn't. What?
What? Someone pushed you?
Stop.
So where's the I swear.
Don't push me. It was him.
I'm staying right here.
Did someone push Susie?
Push you? Don't push me.
When asked if somebody tried to push Susie into the water, the spirits have an answer for Kelsey.
I heard yes, and then it said we are coming.
We are.
Are you guys coming?
While they continue to speak through the spirit box, one of them hears the name Susie.
Why?
I heard Susie. I swear
to God.
I heard
Really?
Susie.
Oh, is it? Yep.
Jesus.
It seems this spirit is out to get Susie.
Right behind you. Whoever. I can't even speak right now.
Oh, that's it. I'm here.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm here.
It literally said I'm here.
That's it.
The spirits repeat their intentions.
What?
That was we're all coming.
That
That literally said we're all coming.
Voice, that was not like a regular voice. That was like a demonic voice.
That was really bad.
And their thirst for Susie doesn't end there.
Oh my. Susie.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah. I heard that's my second time.
Why do they want me so bad?
I think this is a valid question. Why are the spirits coming after Susie? And did the ghost woman by the creek try and push Susie into the water? If I were her, I'd take this as a sign to get the heck out of there. A YouTube channel called The Proper People Vlogs is documenting their urban exploration trip to check out an abandoned power plant. This is the exact moment they knew they were in trouble. Tell me what you would have done in this situation. Run or stay.
There's a person?
There's a person.
Should we talk to them? Should we talk?
I probably would stay because running would only get you in more trouble. Anyway, at first it looks like they were trying to walk away, so I guess they were kind of panicking, but then they turned back around to have their translator talk it out rather than escape. As it turns out, this is security and they are not happy at all. Try and translate if you can, because they are about to get in so much trouble that their translator just says they should leave.
Does not seem good.
Based on what I've seen, it's a good thing that they get out of here fast, because I doubt the authorities in this country would have taken kindly to tourist trespassers. Nevertheless, I'm glad they got out of there safe. Everyone knows you must drive defensively when you're on a motorcycle. After all, there's nothing between you and the pavement, except whatever you're wearing, and a helmet. But sometimes, no matter how defensively you drive, you learn how little others value your life. Delta 394 learned that in July of 2017, when he published a video of his encounter with a crazy driver. In the video description, he explained, "Guy in the blue Fiat Panda tries running into me while cutting across lanes. I wasn't having any of it, decided I would confront him in the supermarket car park, and he did confront the man, all of which was caught on camera."
Do you know how to use lanes, you prick?
It's not you, you smashed my bloody thing. Why don't you see where you're going?
Why don't you go in the right lane? I'm on the left.
In the right place.
The man claims the biker smashed his mirror, while the biker claims he almost ran him over. As it turns out, the Fiat driver didn't like how the biker was driving, frequently slowing down and speeding up again. The biker then questioned what was more important, the man's mirror or his life. Most in the comments section seem to agree that the Fiat man deserved every bit of that confrontation. Who is in the wrong here? What do you think? Roosevelt High is a school in St. Louis, Missouri, rumored to have been built on top of an old graveyard long ago. Now, a paranormal investigator named Soul Searching stands by the bleachers of a football field with a spirit box to find out if people were buried here like the local legends say.
Are there any spirits here?
4 seconds later, this voice comes through with a strong reply. When asked how it feels, the same voice replies with a flat answer that lacks all emotion, which I guess underscores its bleak point.
Are you upset?
I'm showing this so you can hear for yourself that all of the answers make sense and they're all coming from the same voice, so I think this is real. The final answer pretty much confirms it.
Is your body still here?
But just to be sure, Soul Searching moves on to the school itself, where a spirit confirms its presence when asked to do so.
Oh, that was a yep.
Here's the only part I'm not so sure about.
Can you turn the lights on now? It wasn't on before.
Soul Searching thinks the lights are off, but I think they may have been on the whole time. It's hard to tell though, so I will give her the benefit of the doubt that the light came on by itself, especially given how much paranormal activity was on the football field earlier. This dashcam video was supposedly taken near Hanoi, Vietnam, and was posted on Facebook where it spread to the local news. In it, the car soon pulls up to a figure dressed in all white standing in the middle of the road. The drivers are quite concerned that this individual is standing in the middle of a pitch black road, alone besides one street light above. They don't ask the person anything. Instead, they quickly drive away. While many online thought it was a ghost of some kind, news agencies have said that this was a woman who is not mentally well and was possibly attempting to take her own life. Let's hope she got the help she needed before it was too late. This normal looking video with a creepy backstory was posted by a YouTuber named J to the C, who says he found the scary event caught on camera to be extremely chilling to watch unfold. At 13 seconds, a large glowing light comes from behind the wall and curiously pokes around his front porch for a bit before going away. Moments later, you can see him peek out from the window, not quite sure what he saw and too scared to go out and check. He says that before this strangely ghost orb was caught on camera, he heard something hit the side of his house with a forceful blow. J to the C isn't sure what to make of this video, but if what he says is true, then I think it was probably a ghost sighting. A YouTuber named Nathan Laird posted this video as a warning to others to stay away from a woman whose behavior really freaked him out. He's riding around his neighborhood in Vacaville, California, when he says a woman throws garbage on the ground. This bothers him, so he picks up the trash and follows her to redeliver it, along with a valuable message about littering.
Excuse me? I think he dropped this. I got on film.
Watch again, and it appears that she tries to rip his camera off, and after that fails, she smacks at it out of anger. She's eating an orange and probably dropped part of the peel on the ground, which you could argue isn't as severe as littering other things. But still, this is just a little kid who is trying to do what he thought was right, so there's no reason to react like this. She could have apologized or politely told him it's biodegradable, but instead she physically touches him, which does not seem appropriate since she's supposed to be the adult here. A YouTuber named Nick Soup is barefoot water skiing when suddenly he finds one of the handles wrapped firmly around his throat. Look again in slow motion and you'll see exactly how this 1 in a million scenario unfolds. The handle drops into the water, shoots back into the air, and wraps perfectly around Nick's throat like a noose. Thinking fast, he rips the handle over his head while still hanging on. Had he let go and fallen into the water, he would have been dragged by the neck at high speeds. The aggression with which some ghosts make their presence known can frighten even the bravest among us. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Mr. Miracle BR. The Redditor says this clip was tweeted by a police officer and reveals a strange, seemingly paranormal encounter during a police raid in Brazil. The footage shows what appears to be an abandoned building. The police approach to find a door banging repeatedly on its hinge. As they get closer, they see that it's doing so on its own. No trespassers are around. Nothing behind the door but an apparently angry plant. The man filming scans the door up and down, but nothing seems to explain the banging. The police hear something clatter to the ground somewhere far off and start running down the alley. Redditor Islin draws attention to something else creepy in the clip, writing, "How come no one is pointing out the girl in the doorway at 38 seconds? Not sure if that's a girl. In fact, it's unclear what it is, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's very unnerving." Those who don't see it remain skeptical about the seeming paranormal activity. Redditor Bin Medi writes, "Ghosts do this, but they don't do it constantly." Well, there you have it. A YouTuber named CJ Powers eagerly records the final stages of a drone project he and his group have been working on together. They are just about to fire it up when his friend Christian makes a nervous joke about the drone coming to life and attacking.
It's gonna go rogue and it's gonna kill me.
Roughly 2 minutes later, his joke becomes prophecy.
Smile at the camera.
Watch again and you'll see the sharp propeller swing towards Christian's face and neck at a high rate of speed. The loud motor gives Christian just enough of a heads up to barely move out of the way. They all laugh about it later, but look again and you'll see how close the drone was from slicing something vital and taking his life. When you reach the end of the road, you better just turn around, otherwise this can happen. Posted by TikToker Sharpski. The TikToker may have escaped something life-ending at the end of the road. In the clip, Sharpski is traveling down a dirt road in a field at night. As the group drives on, they see a group aligned in a formation at the end of the field. They say the figures look like they have heads. They conclude that they are people and urge the driver to turn around. If they are people, what are they doing at the edge of a forest at night? Well, some in the comments, like TikToker Chris Michael, think these are simply dual targets at an open range. Others require further proof. Neen writes, "Keep driving. I want to see from the safe distance of my phone." But since the cameraman wouldn't have that luxury, I'm not sure if he'd be willing to risk it all for us to find out what's really happening here. The Stones River Paranormal team is investigating a haunted courthouse in Tennessee when something truly bizarre happens. One of them is talking about how cold her hands feel when all of the sudden one of the double doors leading to the bathroom unlocks and swings shut. The team tries to recreate the situation to see if it's just a loose hinge or a faulty lock, but this doesn't seem to be the case at all. The door has no problem staying open for the rest of the night and doesn't shut again. Long before this particular room was remodeled, it was used as a prison for captured Union soldiers during the Civil War. It only makes sense that paranormal activity would occur in this historic corner of the courthouse. A laughing child runs from one room to another and something horrifying seems to playfully chase her. The shifting shadow follows closely behind and then disappears as quickly as it came. Some people say that this is just a bug on the lens, but I don't think so. Look again and you'll see the formless blob squeezes itself directly around the corner. I have heard of spirits sometimes befriending a child before possessing them. Hopefully that's not the case here, but whatever this is, I sure wouldn't want it anywhere near myself or my family. Is this creature a Nina Pero like the Spanish-speaking YouTube community thinks, or is it something even more nefarious? This video was taken in Mexico. This creature is seen scrambling down the sidewalk on all fours, and not just for a brief moment. Other security cameras capture it continuing the four-legged walk all around the premises. It is seen scrambling around the building and navigating a narrow alleyway beside the home. While most in the comments are confused about what is going on here, a Redditor writes, "Somehow this is way more unsettling than all the cryptid clips I've seen." Cryptid or not, it certainly makes you feel uneasy. When you're playing peekaboo with the paranormal, it's never a game. Posted to the Ghost Video subreddit by Podcast Africa, the clip shows an urban explorer walking through an abandoned house. As he walks down the corridor, he glances in a room to his left. There's a big empty window to the room beyond, and in that window this peeks out, a shadow person or a real one. The dark shadow ducks down quickly and the explorer hurries over into the next room and finds it completely empty. So who or what is playing around here? Or are they even playing? A YouTuber named Will Rubio explores the inside of an old Utah jail with some friends to see what's left behind. Everybody is in high spirits and one of them laughingly gets inside of the cell to recreate what it must have been like to be locked up. All of them are debating whether or not this is a working lock on the door when they find out the answer by accident.
Is there gonna be a lock on it?
You think?
No, I think it's a magnet.
Holy
You're joking.
I'm not kidding.
As they fumble around the darkened area trying to find the controls, he struggles to get out and soon discovers the doors are as strong as ever. Finally, just as true panic creeps in, they manage to unlock the cell and set their friend free. Otherwise, they would have probably had to call emergency services and would have gotten in serious trouble. This Uber passenger looks like a relatively regular person at first, until he reveals a rather unsettling tendency.
Oh! God.
He reaches to his face and gently presses both eyes out of the socket. The right eye protrudes way more than the left and looks ready to burst and roll down his cheek at any moment. I can't imagine that doing this would be good for your eyes at all, and I hope he doesn't cause long-term health problems. But for now, he has definitely succeeded in creating a video to creep out you and me both, posted by Footage Finder 57 to the Found Footage subreddit. You'll probably rethink your next camping trip after watching this piece of found footage. A group of people are hanging out around a campfire watching videos on a big screen and chatting. One of them notes that their friend Alexis went to the bathroom and has been gone for a very long time. They decide to investigate. As they're walking through the forest, a scream pierces the night. They start running towards it, shouting out her name. In the middle of the forest, they come across a strange teepee made of logs. When they peer inside, there's a person tied to a tree stump. And then, whatever four-armed or legged creature has captured Alexis comes after them too. The group screams. The camera is dropped and no more is heard. Redditor Tribal Transfusion 311 pulled a still shot of the creature. This is what we're dealing with. Although the origins of the video are unknown, this found footage is certainly one of the best quality if faked, and one of the most terrifying if not. A YouTube series called The Undervlogs follows Rachel, Kiva, Tyler, and Derek on their various adventures. This time, they're split up on a competitive scavenger hunt, checklist and all, in a creepy 1908 children's hospital that's been abandoned since 1998. Tyler and Derek are goofing around, but things become tense when they notice a creepy clown head with dripping red eyes that could be a warning of what's about to come their way. They sense something wrong and run away, and that's when, approximately 10 seconds later, this shadowy figure looks out at them, roughly the same height as the clown graffiti in the doorway, so I'm glad they followed their instincts and left fast. These ghost investigators have some paranormal evidence from a haunted house on video that I'm trying to decide is real or fake. They claim these lights are not coming from traffic, which I believe, but it looks awfully similar to the high-powered flashlights they were using earlier in the day. Does the beam look the same to you? Next, they claim to have picked up this sharp whisper, but I think it might be a camera strap sliding over the mic. Do you hear it? If so, what do you think? Thank you so much for getting me to 30,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers next. Thank you.